Creating a parallax background in After Effects is quite easy. Let me show you how. First, make sure your project is well set up. I will then bring in my background, which has all elements separated in their own layers. I will also bring in my car asset and import it as composition layer size to retain its layer size. Give the assets a cursory check just to see if everything is alright. Create a new composition. I am just adding a couple of ruler lines to check my center. Copy all layers from the background composition and bring it to the main composition. Resize it to make sure everything fits well. We will turn on motion blur for every layer. Let's bring in the car composition as well and resize and position it to our liking. We will turn on continuous rasterization in the car composition as well as the layers to retain its quality throughout the animation. I am just increasing the size of the composition a bit to account for animations. Bringing down the anchor point, I will keyframe the rotation and use wiggle expression to key in subtle movements to the car. Adding rotation to both tires also gives the illusion of movement. Then, to sell the parallax effect, we will move the backgrounds a bit. First, let's make sure the grass moves from rightward entry to leftward exit. We can then add an expression of loop out to its position to loop through it. It should not be visible at the beginning nor at the end. Let's also move the mountains a bit, but just ever so slightly, as it is an element that is too far away to move drastically. We can then work on the movement of the clouds. It should move opposite to the car as everything else. We will move every layer at once and then go alternate layers and limit their movement. There you have it, a parallax background. But we can also do it better with 3D layers. Let me show you how. Create a new composition and do the same as before. Mark a center, bring in your assets, scale and position them to your liking. Create a new viewer to view the 3D angle, but not before adding a camera and naming it main camera for convenience. Turn every layer to 3D, even the ones inside the cloud composition. Bring in the car layer from the other composition and make its layer also 3D, even the ones inside it. Push the sky back in the Z-axis and increase its scale to cover up with composition. Do the same for the mountains. You can lock them in their respective places as well. Then focus on the car and make sure it's in the foreground and place accordingly. Follow the same strategy for the background grass as well as the mountains as we did previously. Finally, you can open the camera options and enable depth of field. Move the focus distance around to find your focus. You are aiming to keep your foreground in focus and your backgrounds blurry. This will give you a nice depth of field for your animation. Adding lens flare to your sky layer will also give it a realistic touch. Finally, you can create a layered opening by keyframing the end position of the camera to 1 second, going to the first frame and zooming entirely into the sky. As you play it, your animation will start off with a smooth zoom out effect. If you are liking this content, you can help me out by simply liking and subscribing. If not, leave a comment on how I can improve. Bye bye.